Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeleine and this is Made with Books. And today I'm going to talk about the bookish goals that I have for 2020, both reading-wise and for this channel. I have looked back at the year 2019 and a lot of these things reflect back upon that or sort of in relation to that. So if you still want to watch that video, I will link it down below. My goals for 2020, the most obvious one is always the Goodreads challenge. I will set the Goodreads challenge again to 52 books this year. Now I usually read a lot more than that, so I don't think this is going to be difficult for me to achieve, but I would like to also read some longer books, which I haven't done really, especially last year, and I will get to that later, what kind of solution I have for that in mind. Yeah, so that's why I'm only setting it at 52. Another big thing that is related to this channel is that I signed up to be a judge for this year's Booktube prize, and I'm super excited about this. Big shout out and thank you to Robert for organizing this again this year. I will link down below both to his channel and the official Booktube prize channel. If for some reason you haven't heard of it, please check it out. I signed up for the second round, which is February and March, and the third round, which I think runs from June to July. And hopefully I will judge fiction one time and non-fiction the other one. We'll see how that goes, and yeah, I'll let you know how things go, and we'll have some videos up about that for sure. The next goal is one that I had last year and that I failed at utterly, and that is to reduce our TBR. And I said this before, TBR for me means the books that Daniel and I actually own. So if you were to go to my Goodreads and look at the TBR there, those are all books that we have in our apartment and that I haven't read yet. And that's a lot. And that's not all of them, there's more. So it's probably roughly around 800, so that's quite a lot. I know other people have more, I know a lot of people have less. But I would like to get that number down, so I'm going to not quite follow Kelly and Jason with their year of reading one's own. I will link down below to their announcements for that. Jason from All Blues Chapter and Verse and Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading are doing this challenge where they're not buying any books this year and are only reading from their shelves. Now, Dan and I have already broken that because we were in Vietnam at the beginning of the year and we always like to buy some books from authors from that country when we were there. So we picked up 4 books by Vietnamese authors, and obviously for the Booktube prize I am going to have to acquire some books. And then there's birthdays, so and Christmas, so there will be books coming into our household, but I'm hoping it's going to be a lot less than in the past years. We'll see how that goes, and I would like to have the number lower at the end of the year than it is at the beginning. We'll see how it goes. And the next sort of goal lump, I would say, is certain genres or categories that I want to read from. So last year I set myself the goal to read at least 365 poems, so on average one per day, and I do want to continue with that goal. I think it's a really good one to keep reading poetry. I would say I'm pretty good with reading and analyzing fiction, but less so with poetry, and I think the only way to get better at something is to, you know, keep reading it or keep engaging with it, so I'm going to do that. I also had set the goal to read 52 short stories, 52 essays and 12 non-fiction books last year. I'm keeping those goals and hope to attain all of them this year. And I am adding one more goal in this sort of line of things, and that is to read at least 12 plays this year, because I feel like plays often fall to the wayside with my readings. So I read a few plays last year, but not that many, so I would like to increase that number. And last year I had the goal to read at least one book from South America, which I did accomplish. and I read from all other continents except for Oceania, or Australia and Oceania, and obviously Antarctica, which I'm including for the purpose of this goal. But ideally I want to read at least one book from every continent this year. I want to continue my 30 books to read until I turn 30 list, which I guess is now the 30 books to read until whenever list, since I did already turn 30. I still have 24 books on that list. I mention in my goals wrap-up which 6 books I have read, and I will link down below to the video where I talk about all the 30 books that I wanted to read. So I'm just hoping to continue with that list slowly but steadily. I don't have to race anymore till I turn 30 because all that didn't happen. So I'll just slowly continue that list. And then I have decided to try to achieve what I would call an ideal reading month. And this is inspired, or copied I should say, from Katie from Books and Things, and I will link down below to her videos of this. She did this last year, and I think she's doing it again this year. What she did was she set herself sort of 10 more or less general goals of what kind of books she wants to read per month to sort of achieve this ideal reading month. And I have done the same to sort of help me achieve my goals. So there are 10 goals that I want to achieve every month. The first one is to read one book from my long-term TBR. And my long-term TBR is for me books that I owned since I've been in high school. Those are actually still a lot of books. I think there are over 90 titles, so I won't read all of them this year, but I would like to at least read one per month. The reason for that is when I was a teenager there were classics collections on sale which contained 50 titles for, I think it was back then, 100 euros, so it was 2 euros per book. So I picked those up, and there were 2 of those, so that added a lot to my bookish collection back then. I didn't read all of them at once, so I still have a lot of those left, and then some other books as well. So ideally I will read at least one book per month of this long-term TBR. The second item on the list is a play. Like I said, I want to read 12 plays for the year, so one play per month would help me achieve that goal. The third goal is to read either a short story collection or an essay collection every month. So probably 1 month short story, the next one essay, and so on, to help me achieve my short story and essay collection goals, because I didn't quite achieve those last year. And the fourth goal is to read one German contemporary at least per month, just because I want to, you know, keep track of the books coming out in Germany as well. The goal to help me reading longer books is to read at least one book per month that has over 400 pages. I am already doing that for January. I'm reading Wolf Hall as part of the Cromwell-a-thon that Jason from Old Blues Chapter and Verse is organizing. I don't know, I think it's probably very glaring in the camera because I have this really shiny gold edition. I'm very much enjoying it so far, and it is well over 400 pages. My edition has around 650 pages, so I'm on track with that goal so far. The sixth goal is to read at least one classic, which works very nicely with Lucy the Reader's challenge for this year that she has for everybody here on Booktube. Participate in what she calls the hashtag classics community, which is just the idea to read more classics on Booktube, which I think is a great goal, so that works nicely. And goal number 7 is to read at least one non-fiction a month. Again, 12 non-fiction at least for the year, so that would work out quite well. Goal number 8 is to read a book that I was gifted or that I have borrowed and have yet to return. I have a few of those on my shelf as well. So, and also, you know, it's nice to tell people that the book they gifted you, you haven't left on your shelf for 5 years but have actually read. So again, with Wolf Hall, this is one that I was given last year for my birthday, so this book actually fulfills 2 categories for this month, so I don't have to read 10 books to fulfill the categories. I can use one book for one or multiple categories. The 9th category is to read a book off of my 30 until 30 list. And the 10th is to reread a book, because I would like to do more rereading. I've done a little last year, but not a lot. So I think off the top of my head I can think of 3 books that I reread last year. Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, Wrinkles by Paco Roca, which is a graphic novel, and a book that I read twice last year, which roughly translates to And Other Forms of Human Failure, which was a German title, by Leonard Loss. So not a lot of reading, and I would like to do a bit more of that. Now obviously if I don't achieve all of the goals in a reading month, nothing bad is going to happen, but it's just sort of, you know, something to give me an idea. And it doesn't mean that I can't read books that don't fulfill those categories. It's just sort of, that would be the ideal reading month. In terms of Booktube, apart from participating in the Booktube prize, I would like to be a little more consistent. So towards the end of last year I sort of fell off the bandwagon with consistently putting up videos, and I would like to have at least one video up per week. Ideally, I hope I can do this. I do have more work hours this year, so which is a nice thing. So at my job, last year I worked 30 hours per week, and that has been increased to 35 hours, which is nice because I get more done, and also it's a bit more money at the end of the month. So that is really nice, but it also means my week is going to be a little fuller with that. So I'll have to see how I am going to be able to fit in filming, editing and uploading. Those are my main goals for this year. I'm not going to get into other goals. Like last year I talked about some non-bookish or Booktube related goals. I had one about going to the gym and failed utterly. So we'll just see how that goes this year, and I'm not gonna set a goal that I know I won't achieve. But yeah, let me know maybe what some of the goals are that you have set for this year, or if you just don't care about goals, and I'll talk to you in the comments. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye guys!